are considering relocating to or simply just buying or selling real estate in Oregon, especially the Willamette Valley or any of the surrounding areas, you are for sure going to want to stay tuned today until the very end, because we have quite the lengthy list of topics to cover, all of them regarding things that you're going to want to know, whether you are relocating to our beautiful area, or if you are just simply buying a house here in our beautiful area. You're not going to want to miss any of this.
How exciting is it that we get to live in a country, but also a great state where real estate, I would say, is booming. Okay, besides the headlines, it's literally in our area. There's more sales coming up. There's more listings out there.
A lot more
lending
listings.
is just becoming more and more, I would say, grateful because buyers are hitting the market again. And interest rates just came down briefly. And we'll see where the stock market goes in the bonds. But like ultimately, if you are a first-time home buyer, there's opportunities out there. There's first-time home buyer programs. And if you need connected with a lender, let us know. We have quite a few up in our pocketbook, I would say, and lists to choose from. But ultimately, if I'm a buyer right now, I'm very, very encouraged. And I'm always looking to buy too. So don't think that I'm just advertising
telling
for you.
To buy, but
I'm
you're not buying.
on my computer literally every day, like looking for properties. Last week, I was just out at a property. And this lady, she drops on me. She's a for sale by owner. And she says, I'm willing to carry. I'm willing to do a carry contract on this.
Where was it?
It's in Albany, Oregon. Okay. And it's still available, guys. And it's just over $400,000. Great home, remodeled, decent sized lot. I'd say, there's even an apartment studio too. So if that's something that interests you guys, not too many people can really work those deals right now.
No.
And nowadays, it's crazy. My grandparents could, but it's very, very rare that we're finding a carry contract. So
that's true.
If that's something you're interested in, hit us up.
That's true. Well, let's start off there. Let's start off in Albany, Oregon. And by the way, though, before we get too into the video, my name is Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
Yes, and that is my husband. We are a husband and wife real estate team, and we work with just a lot of buyers, sellers, but a lot of our clients are relocating to our area from out of state, or they're just buying from out of state or here from our YouTube channel. And if that is you, we would love to work with you as well. The first step to working with us, whether you're buying or selling or relocating or whatever, here in Oregon, is you shoot me an email. Our email is in the description. Let's get a call on the schedule. Okay. So like I said, let's just start with Albany. So Albany is a town where many of our buyer clients who are relocating from out of the area choose to live in. You can find a little bit lower home prices than in Salem. It's just south of Salem. I would say 15 to 35 minutes, depending on what side of town you're coming from and going to. There's new construction communities and all that. So I think one thing to know when you're moving here is the different unique areas. There's a lot of towns, not just Salem, but there's a lot of towns on the outskirts, which we won't go into this because we've done full videos. You can head over to my channel and find those where we go over all the different towns on the outskirts. But there's a lot of towns all around Salem. Many of them you can use a USDA loan, meaning no money down. Some of the unique features of homes in Oregon that you might not be used to if you're moving from out of state are woodsy lots, basements, not always, but there are lots of basements.
Depending on the side of town,
older architecture depending on the area.
Those are fun, yep.
But yeah, woodsy neighborhoods is a big one. It's very easy to find.
I mean, there are some older neighborhoods. I mean, no matter where you're at, there's always usually a historical district in the town you live in. In our community, specifically in Salem and Albany, you'll always find that. But what Oregon does offer, and I think you guys as our audience might know this, even if you don't live here in Oregon, you're out of state, is the greenery and the beautiful landscapes that our great rain brings. The summer times, we do have true seasons. Right now, we're filming this during summer. It's 80 degrees, usually the main every day. We just had 2 back-to-back 95-degree days, and it was just the beginning of June. So there's always a season, but at the end of the day, maturity is something I love when I'm viewing homes and properties. And what's different is in today's builds is the lot sizes. I believe newer constructions, I sometimes call them lemonade lots because you can literally hand a glass of lemonade to your neighbor.
Lemonade lots.
I mean, I'm a sucker for landscape in a mature neighborhood, and those mature neighborhoods generally have more acreage per lot. So 0.25 acre lots. Those are always really nice to have, especially when you're living in town.
Yeah, absolutely. And different towns, different sides of town, different neighborhoods. These are all things we can talk about on a phone or a Zoom call if you're thinking about moving to the area. So briefly, can you just give me a quick, like a 60-second, if that's possible, recap of what you're seeing in the housing market right now for buyers?
For buyers.
Yeah, because sellers, this isn't really for sellers.
Here's the cool part. If you're a first-time home buyer, there's always a great loan program. There's always a first initial step to be taking. And usually I get 2 calls a week or just 2 reach outs even on Facebook or a social media platform. And they just said, Spencer, I don't know where to start. What do I do? And they don't really understand. You guys, maybe as the audience, you're a first-time home buyer viewing this video, you don't know where to start. And so it starts with sending us an email, and we will connect you with a qualified lender. And usually they're finding you a loan program that fits your needs, whether you're VA, first-time homebuyer, USDA, outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
There's really some cool Oregon assistance programs, especially on conventional loans. A lot of people don't realize that. You don't have to always have 5% down. There's always seller concession credits sometimes on lending teams. And so usually there's options for you because really real estate drives our economy, a lot of it. And so if home markets slow down, people stop buying, money stops. And that's why states are usually trying to generate potential loan programs that work for you as a buyer. So you always want to start with that, and we'll connect you with the right one here. If you're a first-time home buyer, we'll get you with the right lending team.
And as far as the market goes, depending on the price range, this is going to be very price range dependent, I would say.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say market, that's the hardest part right now because of the wide variety of homes available. We haven't quite seen this in the last 5 years where we're dealing with, you can buy an $800,000 house, which isn't really affordable to the majority of us, okay? You're in a completely different tax bracket. But the majority of us, we're looking at homes from $370,000 to about $465,000. I'd say that's your happy medium, first-time home buyer, normal income family, double income families. That's going to be your price range. And so everything's different upon scenario. Obviously, every home's different. But we can always make a call to the seller's agent after these showings happen. And I'm a negotiator. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Mariah hates it. I'll go into Goodwill. I'll go into a garage sale. I'll go in something that's secondhand. And I don't like paying full ass price. That's just something now I grew up in. And that's something I enjoy about real estate and representing buyer clients all the way to the end of escrow. It's because my job, you hire me to save you money, get you the best deal, get you into properties that you actually love and enjoy. So allow me to do that. But I would say negotiate. We're in a buyer's market for a reason right now, and I don't know how long this is going to last.
Right. I don't know how long it will last, but for right now, in many instances, I would say the ball is kind of in the buyer's court, and you have a little bit more of the favor here. So let's just talk for a second about home inspections in Oregon. What can we expect as far as that goes?
Well, home inspections here in Oregon, I've talked to quite a bit of people outside of Oregon and said, wow, do you guys deal with pests? Do you deal with bugs? Do you deal with other things that aren't really common that I've heard of? Oregon, you can really deal with a lot more dry rot. The water is something bigger. Of course, we sometimes deal with like mice and stuff. But the inspection period, you get a 10-day inspection period. And I have a preferred inspector. You can always use him or whoever you want to use once we're in contract. But it's generally going to cost you about $475 on the average home.
For a regular
home
inspection. And then there's additional, if you would like, to do a sewer scope or a radon inspection. But those are not generally done unless it's like, sewer scope if it's a really older home and that it has an older sewer, or if certain parts of town that have more radon than others, then you might do a radon inspection. But those are not like normal to do every time.
Which is stuff we try to do in your buyer's convenience. So is I hire a one and all inspector. He does the radon, he does the sewer scope, and he can package it in your inspection package basically for a really good price. And that's why I really, really do enjoy him. Yeah. But it'll cost you about $475 per home. And that the inspection is to save you money. Okay. Sometimes there's repairs you ask for out of the seller. Right now, sometimes you're going to ask for additional costs due to the inspection report. Now, as long as it's not astronomical costs after you see the report, you generally are going to be able to negotiate that cost with the seller. But if you're unreasonable, I mean, I'm seeing sellers just say no because they get turned off by it. So that's something to be aware of when you're in your inspection period.
Now, something that we both hear often working with so many relocation buyer clients every year is that buyers are moving here because of the nature. They're moving here. Like we get buyers that move here for so many reasons, but we literally hear that one specific reason all the time. They're moving here for the beauty of Oregon, and it is so beautiful here. What's the proximity like? Let's just say from Salem to nature, access to hiking, coast, mountains, nature walks, simply. Yeah. What is the proximity like here in Salem?
You're going to be on average 45 minutes east, west, south, and north.
However, there are walking trails right here in Salem, specifically, literally like 5 minutes from you, depending on where you live. They are super beautiful hiking trails that feel like you're really out there. Like Minnow Brown Park is one that's coming to mind. Like you really feel like you're out there in nature, like really beautiful walking and biking trails.
And that comes back to those mature neighborhoods. And what I really think Oregon does a good job at is protecting its environments, and it does have a lot of great national parks, and it just seems like whether you Google it, there's going to be something near you, whether it's a city park. There's more than you really would believe. I mean, it's quite unbelievable. And then the national parks and the state parks, those are, like I said, I mean, there seems to be always something you can do. And what's really cool is like Salem is a central location. So that 45-minute away distance, north, east, south, and west, it's quite unbelievable and a very unique place to live because of the seasons that take place. Right now we're near summer. We have lakes and rivers all around us. So guess what? I'll be at the lake and the river, which you can find one. I mean, the Santiam River, and they're all very, very clean bodies of water, which is something, I mean, some sellers or buyers have moved here to Oregon and they're like, oh my gosh, like it's so pure in here. The air, it's fresh.
It's so true.
So like
the air is way better than anywhere else.
It's one of those things where the water might be a little colder, but it's for a reason.
It's true. It's true. Okay. So another thing that's important to know if you're moving here / buying a house here is Oregon's disclosure laws. Sellers are actually required to disclose a lot. I feel like this is something as agents, it's just like normal to us, so we kind of forget about it. But it is something that I think you should know if you're buying. So when a seller lists a property for sale here in the state of Oregon, they are required to fill out a thing called property disclosures, unless it's a manufactured home in a park, this isn't required. But for every other property, they're required to fill out property disclosures. Basically what that is it is a very lengthy pamphlet going through in depth, asking the seller so many questions, like everything you could think of. Has this ever happened? If so, what did you do to fix it? How long ago was it? In depth things. And the seller is required to be honest and answer it to the best of their knowledge. However, the sellers obviously don't always know. They're allowed to check unknown because a lot of times they were not the first owners. Maybe they never even lived there themselves. And so they're not going to know when the roof last leaked or when it was last replaced, those type of things. But you do get this property disclosure or this pamphlet. After an offer is accepted, you will get access to this. And you also get an inspection as well, but it's kind of nice to be able to see this as well. But you get an inspection obviously still because sometimes the sellers don't know or, that type of thing.
My advice is you're going to view it, you're going to look at it, but you need to do further diagnosis. Yes. And that's the whole point of your inspection period is your due diligence period. And generally we're going to write that in 10 business days. Yeah. I like 12, it just gives you a little bit over 2 weeks. But you definitely want to do your own due diligence. And those sellers' disclosures, they have so many questions. Like so many. And it is so insightful
it is
and nice. And I usually know whether the seller has done a lot to their property or just doesn't care or no. And it's because there's always additional attachments in those sellers' disclosures with receipts and
so many documents with it, which
Yeah.
is good. It's good to be thorough.
I always love it when I see
Yeah.
that. And
I love it.
And it provides truthfulness.
Yes. Okay. So to finish up, let's talk for a quick second about virtual tours, remote buying tips, what it could look like to buy remotely, and timing for moving to Oregon, seasonal market, spring, summer inventory, all of that.
That's so good.
Okay.
That's so good. Give them your process of,
Okay.
hey, you're a buyer out of state. You see this property or we find one for you. You want to see it.
So the process to relocating here and buying a house with us is actually very simple. The first step, like I mentioned, is you shoot me an email and we get either a phone call or a Zoom call. I prefer Zoom because I love seeing your faces. But if you're not able to do that, I understand. Phone call's fine as well. We get that on the schedule. And on that call, we kind of just talk a little bit more about your goals in buying a house, what it is that you're looking for in a home. And of course, that's a good opportunity to get any questions that you might have about the area, the buying process answered as well.
Yeah.
From there, we will start sending you homes, everything that fits what you're looking for. We'll also send you to a solid lender here if you want that. And we will start sending you homes that fit the description of what you're looking for. And at that point, whether it's a home that you come across on your own, or if it's something we send you, you can send me the address at any time of any property and I will look it up, find any information needed, or even set up a virtual showing for you. We do these virtual showings not over FaceTime. I will FaceTime you if you would like, but it's kind of, I've always found a little bit pointless to say because you can't really see the home that well. It's usually pretty blurry, and just with the up and down, the way that FaceTime is, like, it just doesn't really give you that good of a picture. But don't worry, we have a lot of experience with virtual tours. We know what to look for, as in we make sure that we stand outside of the home and do a quick little turn so you can see what the home across the street looks like, the home right next door looks like, a little bit of the street. You know, we're not giving like a full neighborhood tour, but we show you a little bit of what the homes around it are like, because that's a really big deal and can obviously often be a deal breaker. Right. We are able to cover... I won't walk through the whole buying process because we have gone through that many times on our channel already. Head over to our channel. You can find a playlist all about sharing what you need to know about buying a house here in general. But we can handle the entire process from start to finish. Everything from inspections, even closing if we know ahead of time. Without you even being here, we can do it all virtually and very seamlessly if that is what is needed. And then, okay, lastly about buying here in the timing. I've never really found to necessarily, correct me if I'm wrong or let me know your input on this, but I know I have worked with obviously all kinds of clients year round, but I've worked with relocation clients in particular, like people moving here year round. Like there's always people relocating to Oregon,
it really is.
Whether they're waiting for summer because their kids are going to be out of school or whether they're just moving in any time of the year. Like there's really never a time of the year when people aren't moving here. Right. Have you found that there's like this best time of year to move to Oregon?
Man, I
haven't. I
really
truly have not.
I know, like, traditionally, and it sounds so odd, and it's because I talk to sellers because I'm usually listing these properties during this timeline, and it's like those September, October, November months, and for whatever reason, people believe those months to be bad months timing wise, and I just revert back to my analytics, and really closings. We've traditionally closed more during those months than you do even in the beginning of spring months, which is April and May. And then now we're leading into the summer, and you know, sometimes things do cool off and markets are dependent. You never know where we're at. But for Oregon, we're pretty consistent. I'd say for each quarter, we're pretty consistent in our sale volumes.
I would say, as always, the best time is when it makes sense for you, whether you are buying a house for the first time, for a third time, or whether you are relocating. The best time to do any of those things is when it makes sense to you, when you can afford the payment, and when it works out time-wise for your life. And lastly, I will say, because I have people ask me, when should I reach out to you? How early is it? Whatever. We have buyers that reach out to us that are like, I don't think we're going to be able to buy for a couple years, but we just want to get the ball rolling and just start this conversation. We're happy to do that. We also have buyers that reach out and they are like, I need to be in a house in a month from now. We got to get something under contract right away because my job is moving me here and I do not have any time. And we can do that as well. So whatever boat you find yourself in, reach out. We're here to help. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell because we come on here every week, and we'll see you guys soon.